feel like these people who be acting like Speed Racer and like be acting like they got 20 places to go, but then we end up in the same spot. I'm like, how do you feel? Hey y'all, it's me. So I wanted to do like a little sit down part of this vlog because most of it is going to be in my car again. So I'm scaling back my hours at work. I've already done it and I kind of want to go in today, even though I don't work today, to ask them to scale down the rest of my days that I have like remaining of this week. Because my mental has like plummeted, and so it's affecting me physically, and I do not want another incident. My first job, I have this thing where I put my job over my health. No matter how much I'm getting paid or anything, I put my job over my health to a point that's like ridiculous. So my very first job, I was doing that, and it's because like I get consumed in my job. So if it like I have a task and I'm doing that task, I'll like phase out and I'll just make sure that task is finished. But when you do that, a lot of people don't give a fuck. They don't care about their job. So when you are like phasing out and doing your tasks and making sure things are right, even outside of your tasks, like when you're done with them, people take notice and they give you more work, obviously. And so I would like, you know, task boom, task boom, task boom when other people aren't doing that. So I'm giving more work, which isn't fair, but like companies don't care about you, you know. And so I was letting that happen because I wasn't like, if I'm done with something, I don't like to just stand around. Like, for why? Time passes faster when you're doing something, right? And so I would do that, and I get taken advantage of in every job I've ever had. So at my first job, I had reached a point where I knew that I was in a very bad place, and so I was like, no, let me, like, I had waited too long, but I was like, let me ask them if I could have just one day off, because they had me working like 6 days a week for crap pay. So I was like, let me just ask them for one day off, just one day off. And they said no, obviously. Where'd I put my thing? Yeah, I just had it. So they said no, and the next day I came in, even though I should have stayed my butt home. I came in, I lasted for 30 minutes before I burst into tears in a full-blown panic attack. And following that incident, I don't think I was diagnosed back then. So obviously I went home, and following that incident, I was in and out of the hospital because nobody knew what was wrong with me. Like, I have very severe anxiety. So when I get to that point, it's going to completely mess me up physically. There's no ifs and buts about it. I'm going to be out. So it got to the point where it was like, you know, have you ever seen that one show? It was years ago, where the guy had really bad anxiety and like he couldn't step out of his house. If he stepped out of his house, he would think all these bad things were gonna happen and he would have panic attacks and have to go back in. Yeah, that was me. And so one day I had to keep calling out of work, aside from doctor's appointments, like I could not physically like leave my house. And so one day I was like, let me just quit, because like somebody else could have that job and I can't go, so why am I keeping that job when somebody else could have? And so I go and I tell them what's going on, and I was like, it's hard for me to even stand here for more than 15 minutes without me about to cry. And you know what the dude said? He said, so do you want to work weekends? And so I quit. And then at my next job after that, I kind of did the same thing. But I became more assertive for myself. Like, I didn't take people talking to me any kind of way. And that was fine up until around the time where it wasn't fine, because the manager, sometimes managers like to be dictators, and that don't work with me, especially if I've been with the company longer than you have. Like, who are you? And even if I haven't been at the company longer than you have, like, you're not going to talk to me in any kind of way. I'm not your slave. So respectfully, I started to stand up for myself more, so that helped me. But I still dreaded to come in. And I had some, well, no, I don't think I had panic attacks because of work. Yeah, when I started to stand up for myself and like I didn't put my health over work, because sometimes I did still go, like the time I almost died there. And I still finished my shift. And then at this next one right now, I did the same thing as my first one. I could feel I was getting sick because of my mental, and I went anyway. And that didn't work out for me, and you guys will see why. So let me go ahead and roll the car clips. Hey y'all, roll up my windows. So we have another car ride, and I think that for now I'm gonna try and incorporate these into the videos, only because, you know, like I said last time, I ain't got no time. So I'm gonna, well, sometimes, and then I have a few days. Today's Wednesday, so I have until Friday. So I'm gonna try and get some more things to put in here. My next day off is Friday, so that's not, I can't like do like makeup and stuff, but I can do like just sit downs, you know, because I ain't gonna be going nowhere. I'll probably go shopping on Friday, so like food shopping, so that'll have to be in a different video. Well, depending on how, so I was doing videos at like 8:30, like scheduling them for 8:30 a.m. But I'm gonna try and start scheduling them at 1, because I'm barely even up at 8:30. So I don't really expect, I mean, I know there's time zones, but at least for the US, I'm the time zone that's most ahead, so my 8:30 is gonna be even earlier for everybody else in the US. So, but there, I mean, there's other places too, obviously, but I don't know if when you set your language, your video language, to whichever place you're from, like, I need to hurry up. I mean, I'm going over speed limit, but when you set your video language to wherever you're from, if that, like, if it shows your video to other people, if it's just going to be the people, well, mostly going to be the people in that bracket. So that's why I'm so like focused on US time zones. But yeah. It is hot in here, so I might have to roll down the window a little bit. It's kind of warm. I also gotta pee. I'll go when I get there. Just crack them a little bit because it's getting hot in here. So yeah, I'm gonna try doing it at 1, and that also gives me more time. Like if I just cannot, it takes a little bit of stress off, because in the mornings, or since I had it scheduled at 8:30, I was like, no, it doesn't matter how long I have to stay up. I have to like edit and get the thumbnail and do all that before I go to sleep, because I wasn't gonna get back up at like 7:30 and wait for the video to process and all that other stuff. So now that it's at 1, yeah, I'm still gonna try and get it the day before, but I have a little less stress, because honestly, I've been fighting a panic attack, anxiety attack for the last couple days, and it's not fun. And so, like, fighting to the point where it's like I'm about to bust into tears or I'm about to throw up, and it's getting harder for me to eat, which is part of my anxiety. So I'm still trying to eat, but I am eating less. And I've noticed that I'm eating less, and then when I do eat, my stomach hurts. So, why are there so many people out here today? I feel like I want to go in that lane. If I go quiet, it's just because I'm trying to figure out what everybody's doing. I kind of want to go in the middle lane, but then I'm going to have to get all the way back over when my turn is here. And I don't want to do that because there's a lot of people out here. And I would rather just do the most non-stressful way. Which is fine because I left early. Well, I keep saying I left early, but I just left with enough time so I wouldn't have to like panic. Can you put your foot on the gas? That's a big ass gap, my guy. Go! He's like braking when there's like 3 cars lane in between and we're going through a light. Like, get the fuck out the way. Oh, my bad. My bad. I rolled my windows back up so nobody can hear me anyways. But like, I get you're supposed to leave a car's lane in between when you stop, but like this person leaving like 2, 3, and yesterday somebody was leaving like 5. I'm like, if you don't get your ass, I mean get your hiney. Yeah. Oh Lord. So anyway, I had an eventful day. First of all, I don't know if it was in the last video or if I filmed it for this one or what, but I had just gotten my eating under control. Anyway, so I had just gotten my eating under control, and like I was actually eating, you know, and I was doing good, but then I had to, you know, get the job in a different job in a very fast amount of time. And which, like, I don't mind the job itself, but I had to do it very quickly. So I didn't have time to like prep my eating schedule. And so it just completely went to shit. Like, it went to shit. So I went, like, I've barely been eating again. And, I've barely been eating again, and it's kind of, it's obviously, when you combine not eating with a lot of labor, you don't, especially when your levels are always low. You have, like what I have, disorder or whatever. You asking for bruising. And I felt myself getting sick. But like I can't just like not go to work, you know what I mean? And this morning, well, getting sick as in like weak, not sick as in like you know what I'm saying? So I this morning I could feel it. Like I knew I was already fighting off anxiety attacks for a few days now, probably like 4 or 5 at this point, and I could feel that I was hella weak. I felt like I was gonna pass out. I felt like I was gonna burst into tears, which is a sign for me that I'm either gonna have an anxiety attack or it's a pass out signal. But I'm like, I can't not go to work. Like I can't just not show up, and if you call out, it counts against you. So I was having a food aversion this morning, but I knew I had to eat, so I tried to eat some vegetables and rice, but my body wasn't having it. I felt like I was gonna puke it all up, so I stopped eating that, and I just had like a mini granola bar, which is not enough for what you're gonna like. It's not enough. It's just not enough. But that's all I could eat. Like that's all I can get my body to accept. So then I went to work, and I packed lunch, but I didn't end up eating it because it was more rice and vegetables. I ate a granola bar that I brought with me. But anyway, so I'm at work, right? And in a lot of the workplaces, people tend to gravitate towards me as if I am their supervisor. I couldn't tell you why, because I don't know, but they tend to, instead of trying to get help from an actual supervisor, they come to me and they'll ask me questions, and they'll ask me for help, and which I don't mind helping people, but the thing is, I have my own shit, and we're all getting paid the same amount of money. And so if I'm trying, and right now, especially right now, when I'm not okay mentally, and I'm on the edge mentally, I can't handle like something like that adds to it. Instead of like, if I was fine, if my mental was fine, I was eating fine, I wouldn't really care. Like, yeah, I'm working above my pay grade, like above my pay, but I've always been like that. I've always been like if you need help, I'm gonna help you. But right now, I can't really handle that right now. But I'm not gonna tell somebody, no, I'm not gonna help you. So I do it anyway. And so bruh, if you needed to get over, you should have stayed the fuck behind me. And now you're sitting here, and for what? This dude came from behind me, went to the other lane, sped up, and then went across 2 lanes, but he ain't going nowhere. Like, he right there. You're right there. What was I talking about? So, and then, so I'm helping everybody. I'm fixing everybody's shit because nobody gives a fuck, but I'm not good at that. I'm not good at not giving a fuck. So if I see something out of place, I'm going to put it in the right place. And I need to stop doing that. I need to start working like they're working, not giving a fuck. But anyway, and so and now I'm in front of you. Now what? You did all that for what? And so I'm over here fixing entire sections. Like, I'm doing them. I'm doing a lot of work, basically. I'm making sure everything's straight, everything is fine, you know what I mean? And we got sent more people to help us, but and so we got sent new people or whatever, but they didn't know like what to do. So I'm over here helping one of the people, and I'm gonna need you to put the foot on the gas, okay? Anyway, so I'm over here helping the new people, and all of a sudden, a manager comes up behind me while I'm telling him something, but she only caught the end of what I was saying. And if you only caught the end of what I was saying, it sounds like I'm telling him to do something wrong, but it's not, because I had already explained the shit before they walked over. And so she had walked over, and she just goes like I'm a fucking dog. And mind you, honestly, if I wasn't where I was mentally, I wouldn't give a fuck. Like, I would be like, who the hell are you talking to? But I wouldn't have reacted the way I reacted. But anyway, and so she goes so I turn around, and she's just staring in my face, and I'm like what's wrong? Like, I don't know what's going on. And then she goes, don't tell him to do that. Like, she's like, basically like, don't tell him to do that, it's wrong. And I was like, well, that's not what I was telling him to do. I had already explained to him that this is what we do, and I was just telling him, like, you know, if something should arise, this is what you do. Like, it's not, I'm not telling him to do something he's not supposed to do, basically. And for me, like, to be the only one that was actually doing my fucking job, well, not the only one, but the main one doing my fucking job, and that, like, you don't need to come tell me that I'm, you know what I mean? Anyway, so she's like, oh, you don't tell him that, you know, tell him it needs to go, you know, tell him the right way to do it, basically. And I'm explaining, I'm like, yeah, I know, but this is the reason why I said that, but I had already gone through the shit. And she's like, no, yeah, but this is what she kept repeating cutting me off to repeat herself, as if I didn't say I understand. That's not what I was saying. She wasn't listening to me. And I'm like, and so basically that set me into a panic attack. I held it together until I just went to take lunch, like, right after that, because I was like, I can't deal with this shit. Like, why am I the only one really doing my job? And you are coming after me as if I didn't make your shit not smell. You know what I mean? Like, why are you doing this to me? And why I gotta be right now? When I'm holding onto a straw, when I'm gonna pass out, but I still came to work. Like, and I know, like, it sounds kind of stupid, but like I said, I'm not, like, okay. And so I didn't take her words to heart, but I was like, why the fuck are you putting this on me? And that sent me over, because I'm like, I don't need to hear this bullshit. You know what I mean? Like, I don't give a fuck about what she said. I'm just like, I didn't need to hear it. Like, that was unnecessary. Don't be fucking rude to me, and for what? And so after that, I went to lunch, and I went and cried in my car. I was boiling in my car, okay? Like, heavy gasps and everything. Tears rolling down my face. Everything. So yeah, that happened today. But anyway, I got a little bit more ways till I get home, so I'll talk to y'all later.